You're listening to another episode of Last Night's Coffee with Chuck and John.
Welcome back, Night Shifters, to another episode of Last Night's Coffee with Chuck and John. This is episode 137. I'm Chuck, he's John, and here we go.
Dang, dude, you did not fumble it at all. Man.
What can I say?
Man, I put you on the spot.
I know.
Thought you did it. You did.
I know.
I'm so happy. Dude, 137 times we've done this.
137 times.
Yeah.
And
feels good.
Yeah, we're here. We've had a weekend.
Yep.
We've had a week.
Yep.
I'm sore. I'm a little stiff, moving a little slow.
Yeah, you sent me that text message that you were sore from the weekend. What did you do this weekend that made you so sore, Chucker?
I welded.
What did you weld on?
Saturday, I welded on the race car, on Paul's race car, and I was all like laying on the ground and welding upside down, and all
in
the
these
things.
awkward positions.
Yeah. And then Sunday, instead of resting, I did yard work.
Did you go to church on Palm Sunday?
I did.
Did you wear your Hawaiian shirt for Palm Sunday?
I did.
Man, that's awesome. Did anyone else at your church get the memo?
Okay, so Chris, who listens to the show, I come walking in, and he's like, "You wore it," and I'm like, "You didn't." He shared our past video about Captain D's is doing good, dude.
Is it? Great.
Yeah. There's a lot of reaction from that. People think that's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny.
But yeah, so he didn't wear his. Kevin sent me a picture. He understood the assignment and he wore his. Did you wear yours?
Of course. Yes, I definitely wore mine. Yep,
Okay.
I wore mine, and there was one old man. He was bald, and he had like one of those like straw hats on.
Yeah.
I mean, he was Florida'd out, right? Like,
So he had on a
shirt. He had the Hawaiian shirt, and he had like a Florida hat. You know what I mean?
Does he listen to the show?
No, it was just some random old guy at a church I've never even been to, but the guy totally got the assignment.
He got the assignment. He understands, dude.
He understands, man.
It was
My wife was really happy that there was someone else in a Hawaiian shirt there. She was like,
I was the only one.
You were the only one.
The only one.
Yeah. My wife thought I was going to be that idiot. And luckily, there was one person to join me.
I stuck out like a fat Magnum. It's like you did you ever watch Magnum PI?
Of course, yes.
You remember the one where he was treading water? Like he was, he had to tread water for like 24 hours.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
He was doing all the flashbacks.
Yeah.
I looked like the Magnum had he died and they found his body all swelled up.
Dude, that's so messed up. Yeah, like water swell.
Yeah, like.
Oh, that's so messed up. Oh my gosh. But I feel your pain in a way. I was sitting at the back of the church in my Hawaiian shirt. Everyone else is dressed to the T because it's Palm Sunday. There's not some, like, everyone has at least an Oxford shirt on, right? Like every dude
like a
button up.
Okay.
Like everyone there has at least a button up on. There was a couple of guys maybe that had like just the regular old polo or something, So yeah, I did kind of stick out, but at least that one old guy, he was old too, Chucker. I'm talking, this guy had to be in his 70s. He was bald. It was a new church. Well, I'll shout him out, man, because it was a pretty good service. Church.
Go.
Yeah, it was called Go Church. It's on Highway 34. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, Palm Sunday is supposed to be a celebration, right?
Yeah.
You're celebrating, Jesus is coming into town and they're shouting, man. They're throwing down the palm branches. They're having a good time. They're like, the dude is here.
That's right.
And then it escalates quickly.
It does. But I had 2 church services yesterday, which was pretty cool. I got to play at me. I got to play at a small church service yesterday evening, and they had real palm branches there, like real
Nice.
palm leaves for the kids to like play with, wave around, do all
Yeah.
that stuff with.
That was
You
the
know,
old Methodist church, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a Methodist church thing, man.
yeah.
Growing
To
up,
have
I grew up.
real palm leaves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I was the kid that laid them out, you know.
Yeah, yeah. The pastor was like, "God, hey kids, make sure you grab them palm leaves."
Yeah.
He made sure there was a fresh batch for them. It was great, dude. The kids loved it. We had a great time. It was a good Palm Sunday, man.
Well, good. I'm glad you had a good one. We had a good one. We're getting ready for Easter here. We're going to have a Easter egg hunt for the kiddos.
Oh, you're gonna have it at your house? Where are you gonna do it?
I guess at my house, and I'm not really sure what kids are hunting eggs.
Well, I would assume Sierra's gonna carry little Chloe around.
Yeah, but um, yeah, but she wants to hunt eggs too,
She hadn't
and
grown out of that yet.
so it's like Charlie Sierra, his cousin Madeline, which is 1 year exactly older than him. They got the same birthday,
Hmm.
and then her little brother that's actually older than Charlie by a month. Um, so the three of them or the four of them, five of them, and Clovis
Hmm.
are gonna hunt eggs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook
Clovis.
hamburgers. Huh?
Did you
I call
just
her
say
Clovis.
Clovis?
I've been calling her Clovis.
Like a Clovis point, like the Clovis people?
Well, there's a Jerry Clower bit, and one of the Ledbetter's names Clovis. Clovis Ledbetter.
Okay, no, I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do
I
you
had
know what
forgot
the
about it.
Clovis people are?
No, I don't know about the Clovis people.
Okay, so like forever in archaeology, the Clovis people were considered the first people in America. Like the way
Oh,
that history's always told the story is that people came across the Bering Land Bridge, right?
yeah,
And so they came across that way through this ice, basically bridge through
right,
Alaska down through Canada and
right.
and inhabited the United States. That's how history's always said it. Those were the Clovis people. Those in
You know
history.
that's Chinese propaganda.
It's Chinese propaganda now.
Chinese propaganda, man. So
Well,
they're
there's a lot
using
of people coming against the Clovis first idea now, right?
right.
Like that the Clovis people were not the first people. They did come from Siberia and over that way, cross the Bering Land Bridge. Like people did do that, but they were not the first here.
Well, so the conspiracy is that the Chinese. So there's evidently a Chinese, and this ain't a conspiracy corner. This is just a bonus. You get this
Okay,
extra. This is
yeah,
free.
we're just talking conspiracy.
Um, there is a conspiracy that the Chinese have already planned their takeover of us.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's a YouTube video evidently showing it's a Chinese dude in a ranger outfit at Yellowstone talking about how the Chinese built the roads in there and did all this stuff, and then they're using the land bridge and the Native Americans to say, look, these are already Chinese people, and this is already our land. We had it first, so go take it. And that's part of the conspiracy with the all the Chinese coming across the border.
I don't like it.
You don't like
It,
it?
it rings a little too close to possibility.
Yeah, that's it. Seems like so. You're like, whoa,
I don't like that
hit the brakes there, dude.
one. Yeah, because well, I mean, if you think about it, like we've had, like as a country, we have pushed back in some ways to China with the Huawei phones, right? We didn't allow Huawei to come in here with the phones, but didn't they produce like a bunch of the cell phone towers already? So
Yeah,
I'm
all the
pretty
5G
sure,
towers.
yeah, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that whatever company Huawei is associated with or whatever, they'll already have access to whatever they wanted, even without their phones
right.
as being sold in America.
Well,
But at least we've seen some sort of pushback. And that's just what we've seen. So, like, what has gone unseen, right?
right, and they're saying that that's part of TikTok is they're getting all their information like that. Heck, So here's my thing about it. They want to get rid of TikTok and say TikTok's getting all this information. Well, what about Apple? They're getting all my information. They're getting this right now because we're on
Yeah,
all
but that's
Apple
American.
devices.
That's
Huh?
an American company.
Oh, it's okay if Americans do it,
Yeah.
but it's not okay if anybody else does it.
We can
It's that
trust
old
Americans, Chuck.
it's that old double standard.
But they're in America. We can trust them. Look at their logo. It's the bite out of the apple. It's the Adam and Eve story.
It's there's a whole nother conspiracy about that and all that. But anyway, getting back to the weekend. What'd you do?
Oh man, like I said, enjoyed Palm Sunday. My Saturdays don't consist of much because of my work schedule. Getting off.
Yeah,
If I don't
Saturdays
just
are rough.
stay awake when I get off work at 6 a.m. For the day, which I normally don't. I'm normally pretty tired, so I'll go to sleep. It just kind of wastes the day away. So, Saturdays are normally just a day to be lazy. So I didn't do much Saturday, but had a good Palm Sunday, man.
Well,
Had
that's
a great
good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Dude, since we've been throwing conspiracies out there, I see what's next on the notes.
Okay.
Go ahead and lay it out for me. We have another conspiracy to throw in there. I love this show.
It's not a conspiracy. It's fact, but it's my
Okay.
theory on what's going on.
Okay, go ahead. Throw out your.
right.
Tell me the whole deal because I don't know anything about this situation.
Okay, so they've had all last week. They were looking for this student who's from Missouri as a frat boy.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Riley Strain. Okay, they tracked his phone, like Life 360 or whatever, to this one point, and then they couldn't find him, and they ended up finding his body in the river.
Okay.
Which, from the time that I saw the news story break on TikTok, because that's where news stories break now, evidently. I'm like, dude's in the river, he's dead. You ain't gonna find dude.
Sure.
Okay. Then I got to thinking. You've heard about the Rainy Street Ripper down there in Austin, right?
I have not heard about this.
Okay, so evidently he's like the serial killer is killing bro dudes.
Like frat boys.
Yeah, not like the other bro dudes. Not like Down syndrome bro dudes, which would be a whole lot more
not
fun
the
to hang out
DSs.
with. Yeah,
Dude, the DSs are the bros.
They would be a whole lot more fun to hang out with than frat boys.
For sure.
They like NASCAR and wrestling. I mean, and they have a good time. They're having a better time than everybody.
They're all about having a good time.
I mean,
ask them about their day and see if they want to play like basketball with you, and they will love you.
Yeah, they ain't worried about the things we were. They ain't chasing what we're chasing, John.
Grilled cheese sandwiches.
I mean,
I'm kind of chasing a grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm sitting here. We started the show early today, so I didn't get to eat first. So I'm really thinking about some food.
My bad, dude. My bad.
It's all right. It's all right. I gotta stay on schedule.
So there's this Rainy Street Ripper. He's killing frat boys in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And how many are we talking? How many frat boys?
I think they've pulled 11 out of the river. So their bodies are ending up in the river.
I thought you were going to say like 3 or 4, dude.
No, 11. Okay, so we could possibly, they believe that it could be a serial killer doing this.
Okay.
All right. They're drugged up, usually, or very drunk. Now, they said that this dude only had one drink. They showed the receipt. He only had one drink at the bar that he was kicked out of. But you watch the street security video, and he's like stumbling and all this other stuff, right? So I got to get used to this new mic. I keep hitting it. So that's kind of the same MO and the same thing that's happening in Austin. So I've got a theory.
Okay.
What does Austin and Nashville have in common?
Comedy.
And?
Music.
Okay, so it's either a comedian or a music artist.
Okay. I can bite. We've got one.
There's only really one comedian right now that's making the trip regular between Nashville, and Austin. And I don't think he's the serial killer type.
Nah. That Louisiana native is not the
Yeah,
serial
it
killer type.
ain't Theo. Okay, so
It ain't Theo.
I'm gonna go with there's some musician.
Hmm.
Probably, I'm gonna say a bass player.
Ooh, for
You
sure.
know, not a
For sure.
drummer. Drummer's too busy.
Yeah,
He's
drummer's
got to
too
set all.
busy.
Yeah, he's got to set all his stuff up. He's got to break his stuff down. Then he's got to go find a woman.
Yeah,
That, I mean, drummers.
drummer's way too busy.
Drummer's way too busy. Lead singer,
He's fighting with
there.
his girlfriend
He's fighting with his girlfriend.
because of
Or
the lady he found.
or looking in the mirror seeing if he's pretty.
That too.
You know, he's got or after the show he's criticizing himself about how bad he did, even though he knocked it out of the park. So it's not
Not
the lead singer. The guitar players,
He's worried about the latest technology, the next guitar pedal
Yes.
to come out, the next guitar riff.
Yes. Did their
He's
pedal
like-
come loose? Did the pedal come loose on the board? So now they're fixing their board. So they're
Yeah.
the lead the rhythm guitar, he's got a safety meeting to go to.
Yeah.
So that only leaves bass players.
It's bass players.
It's a bass player.
For sure. They're
He's
always the
not-
worst.
He's not getting the attention that he deserves.
Yeah.
He don't have anything else to do.
Mm-mm.
So there is a bass player that is traveling back and forth between Austin's music scene and Nashville's music scene, and that is your serial killer.
You might be onto something there, dude. I'm here to tell you, as someone who's played in a number of bands, I mean a plethora of bands, bass players are the worst.
They're weird.
They're the worst. You can't ever keep one.
No, you can't.
You can't keep one. Look, every band changes bass players.
All the time. They're
All
like,
the time.
look, they're faceless.
Yeah.
They're nameless.
Look, Sting can't stay in a band, can he? He's the bass
No.
player.
No. I
He
mean,
had to go out
okay,
and do things on his own.
let's name bass players that we've heard of. Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Yep. Flea. Sting.
Sting. The dude from what's his name? The dude that played with Korn, then went and played for Metallica.
Head.
No, it wasn't
Or,
Head.
No. Head was the guitar player for Korn.
Yeah, Head's a guitar
This guy
player.
played for Metallica and
Yeah.
then went and played for someone else. Jason.
Yeah, him.
Can't remember his last name right now. Yes.
So there's a very small handful of bass players that are known.
Yeah. No, Nirvana was who he played with.
Nirvana?
Yeah. There was one guy who played for
No, this is the
Nirvana
dude
for a
that's
second.
playing bass for Metallica now.
Oh, geez. That guy.
You know, with the dreads or the braids or whatever.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason you've heard of Metallica's first bass player is because he died.
That's true.
I mean, I'm not knocking it, but that's why you know of him.
Mm-mm.
That's why you know Metallica has bass player issues, because you can't keep them. I mean, they'll leave or they'll
Can't keep him.
die in a bus wreck.
Yeah. One of the greatest bands of all time can't keep a bass player.
Can't keep a bass player. But and then I got to tell you about this other thing I was mad about for about 10 minutes this weekend. But anyway, so it's got to be a bass player, right?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. You're absolutely correct on that. Yeah, he would be the serial killer type too, right? Like, so let me tell you this one time. All right, we had a big concert planned. Like, we had a big show planned.
Right.
It was a battle of the bands. It was really
of the
important to us to like show up and do a really good job of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had to meet early. Okay, this is like a day long thing, right? It was up at oh geez, I'm not going to remember the Masquerade. It was at the
Was it
Masquerade.
in the foam room?
It was in the middle room.
Oh,
It was in Purgatory.
okay.
They had heaven, purgatory, and hell at
Yeah.
the Masquerade at the time.
Right.
And
The
so
old
it
school
was in
Masquerade.
Huh?
The old school Masquerade. They've
That's
got a
right.
new Masquerade, but it ain't the same from what I've heard.
It's not the same. No, not at all. So it's really important. We're supposed to meet up at like 8 a.m. this morning, like that morning, and right up there. Bass player is nowhere to be found, right? So like
Right.
8:30, he finally answers his phone. He's still at a party in Fayetteville, Georgia from the night before.
Yes.
And so he's still partying. So we had to go pick him up in Fayetteville, Georgia, and carry his butt all the way up. Like, it's a bass player. That's a bass player for you.
What kind of party was it that they were still partying the next day? Why wouldn't y'all let the party playing music?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a bass player for you. He's got his own thing. Like, he's gone. He's gone. He's doing he's gone. You don't even know where. You don't know what he does. You don't know who he's friends with. Nothing.
No.
They're so quiet. They never speak. They never sing. Nothing.
Not a word. Not a word. You don't know what they're thinking about.
Nothing.
Well, like the band I got on today, the Psycho DeVille's, High Rod Walk and the Psycho DeVille's.
Yeah.
I think he's got like 3 bass players that play with him.
That's the guy with the stand-up bass player, right?
Yeah, the stand-up bass and they light it on fire.
Yeah.
But like awesome. One of their bass players, his day job's a mortician.
Oh. See, they're just creatures.
Yes, they are creatures.
Bass players are creatures. They're just, ugh.
Now, there is a weird combination that I met one time.
Okay.
I met a friend of mine. Great. Well, I'll say I met him. I've been friends with him for a while. He is a great drummer.
Mm-hmm.
But he went and played bass for a little while.
What do you do that for?
I don't know. I never understood that. I think he got tired of carrying.
Most of the time, people will start playing bass because that's what the band needs, because bass players are so unreliable. Right. It's really the only time I see people learn how to play bass is because a band needs a bass player. And then they're like, oh, I guess I'm a bass player now. And then they fall into that. But it's such a weird instrument. Nobody really willingly learns just the bass.
Right. Well, that's the reason why Paul McCartney was a bass player, because, you know, they didn't have anybody else, which brings me to the other thing that I was mad about for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And we've talked about it before, but it come back up, and I've got to say it. It makes me mad that Ringo Starr is constantly listed on list of the top whatever drummers of rock and roll.
Yeah. Why does it make you mad?
Because I personally know 3 drummers that are better than him.
You personally know?
Personally know. I'm talking to one of them.
That's pretty sad. Thank you for that. That's a humongous compliment.
Is it though?
Look, what you can give Ringo there's 2 things I can give Ringo props for. Okay. One is his flam.
He does have a good. Okay.
He brought flam into rock and roll. Like that flam, you know, as a drummer, what a flam is. He brought that into rock and roll, I think. Like, he kind of made that transition start. So I commend him for that. And I commend him for never playing too much.
So you're saying he knew his place in that band?
Look, I think they sat Ringo down and they were like, hey, guy, you know how they always say drummer's the backbone of the band? Yeah. Just be in the back.
Yeah. Just sit back there, keep that bat beat going.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, his timing is good. He's got good timing.
Look, I saw a comedian do this bit the other day about how, like, a teenager drums, and he's so rushed through the beat just to get to the fill.
Right.
You know, that's how a teenager drummer drums, right? He's so rushed through the beat and doesn't care about staying in time and just wants to do an awesome fill. And then a 20s drummer uses a bunch of cymbals and forgets about the fills and overcompensates with cymbals. And then like a 30-year-old drummer, like he gets into like really just staying in the groove and like really focusing on just being on beat. And like it was a really funny bit that the comedian did. But it was perfect and it's so accurate, right? Like there are phases, and Ringo was just always one to never play too much, and he always played like what he was supposed to play.
That's pretty.
So
yeah, I mean, well, if you look at it like that, then yeah, I guess he's one of the. But
I don't say that saying he's one of the best ever. I would never say that. Not in my list.
Yeah, maybe with the Beatles, we never saw his talent.
Well, you could say the same for Lars. And I know that's crazy because he's done some wild stuff on Metallica albums. And I hate Lars. Don't get me wrong. I hate him. I despise Lars Ulrich.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you listen to him play on his own away from Metallica, and this goes for everyone in Metallica, which blows me away.
Yeah.
If you listen to them individually, like if they are just playing alone, they're so much better than what they are in Metallica.
Oh yeah, like James Hetfield should be a country singer.
He's unbelievable,
His
man.
country, when he does country covers on his own, you're like, holy cow.
Yeah. So it's things like that, you know. I would never put Ringo up there in the greatest drummers of all time, but he's good at what he did. He's good for like those couple of things, you know what I mean?
Right. But I mean, you can understand why I spent 10 minutes being mad at it.
For sure. There should never be, I would never put Ringo up there. You're just doing that because of the Beatles. If he wasn't in the Beatles, you would never consider him like that.
I mean, like, okay, so look, he's right there. I think he's right there probably with David Grohl. Because he don't consider himself a great drummer, and he's really not.
No. And you know what's really interesting is Dave Grohl brought flam to grunge.
Right. They've got the same style.
Yeah, he really brought that flam from like he talks about it. He was listening to a bunch of 70s albums when they were recording that Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
When they were recording that album and he talks about incorporating the flams because he was so influenced by like the disco and the 70s that music.
Well, the Beatles influenced Nirvana heavily.
Yeah.
Heavily.
That's true.
And I was listening to one last night and I'm like, oh, okay. I see that. That sounds like a bunch of noise, but it's really some of that. It is kind of a play on some of that psychedelic stuff that the Beatles were doing. Mm-hmm. But it was in a Nirvana kind of way. And I was like, okay, I see that. There. What'd you eat today? Did you eat anything?
Man, all I've had today is a bowl of cereal and a protein shake.
So no organic dog meat?
No. Nah, dog. No dog in my diet.
Okay. So
absolutely not. No. I saw this on the notes and I'm terrified of this. Tell me about it.
All right. So Ellen Wood's organic dog meat. They put a post out on Facebook. It says, so weird, but we have to say, don't eat pet dogs. They've been given all sorts of vaccines that aren't USDA or FSA approved for human consumption, farm raised only. Pups and dogs. So this place, they sell dog meat. Ellenwood Dog Meats don't want you to eat your pets because of the vaccines they've been given. So they sell organic dog meat.
Bro.
And I sent you the link. Did you check them out?
Bro, it's this is disgusting. I'm trying to imagine.
Yeah.
All right, I'm pulling it up right now, Chucker. I'm pulling it up right now. Elwood's organic dog meat. Oh my gosh.
They're free range. They use local dogs, organic, fresh, never frozen. free from antibiotics, sus- sustainably raised, humanely slaughtered, and loved.
Dude, no, get out of here.
Yeah,
Delicious dog since 1981. Get out of here.
yeah. Dogs are companions. They are kind, loyal, and loving, and playful and intelligent. I love dogs. This is a review. The idea of someone killing and butchering and eating a dog, especially my dog, is horrifying. Okay, so you
You
go on there
probably.
and you read this stuff, and then you hit "Do you agree?" So you click on the link that don't work, and then they also have organic pig meat. Um,
Oh, this is disgusting, dude. I'm scrolling through this. This is pictures of like golden retrievers and stuff, man.
yeah,
Like,
man, that meat looks good though, don't it? It looks tasty. It's got nice marbling.
that ain't no, that is not dog meat.
No,
No. Okay.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
Praise God. If you get to the bottom, praise God. Elwood's organic dog meat isn't real. We
It's not
hope
real.
you'll think about any anger it caused. Consider what it'd mean to open your heart to the idea that so called food animals are just as worthy of love and kindness. And maybe that there is no such thing as an animal meant for food.
No, no. There's animals created to be your pets, and animals created to be our food.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I feel about like you see these people that's got these indoor pet cows.
Yes, yes, I've
That
seen
to
it.
me is about as crazy as somebody that's eating a dog.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm
It's
so
like a
glad it's a
cow.
joke.
Yeah, yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, it
pretty.
seems like more of a statement now that I got to the bottom of it, but
Yeah, yeah, it's a vegan thing. It's kind of a vegan thing, but it's freaking. They did great on the website.
they did a
It is
great
very
job.
convincing.
It is. It is. You got to get to the very bottom too. But
They've
it's
even.
so messed up. Like,
I wonder what happens if you call the phone number.
I don't know. I don't know. That's so
Does it?
messed up.
Does it? Thank you for calling Ellenwood Dog Meat.
Ugh. It's so not right too, right? Like, ugh. Dogs
That's
are
just
something completely different than food animals.
right. What are they?
Yeah.
If Chef Drew cooked you some dog, would you be able to tell that it was dog?
Maybe not. I'm not saying that it wouldn't taste similar. I'm just saying that, like, those aren't for slaughtering and eating.
Okay, let's talk about something. Let's talk about the obvious.
Okay.
I can't make Chinese food at home look like the Chinese food at the restaurant.
Okay. You want to talk about the elephant in the room or the dog in the room?
The, why?
Why can't you make Chinese food look like the Chinese food at the store?
My chicken never looks the same. My beef never looks the same.
And it's always been rumored, right, that
It's
Chinese
always
restaurants use dog
and cat.
and cat.
But why can I not make my chicken at home look the same? I've watched videos.
We had a Chinese restaurant right across the street from my house get busted with dead dogs outside of
Every town in the United States has had that
it.
myth.
No, I remember seeing the newspaper article.
Okay. You
I
want to take a
can't.
break? You want to take a
Yeah,
break and
yeah,
regroup here?
yeah. We got so off the rails. All right, Chucker. Have you seen anything about the Shohei Ohtani betting scandal with the Major League Baseball?
I've seen a little bit of it, and If it's like what I've been seeing, we've got another Pete Rose on our hands.
I'm glad you're seeing it my way, man. So far, they've been throwing the interpreter under the bus, and
Right.
I'll go on to explain why I think they're throwing the interpreter under the bus. There's allegedly he was in debt. Shohei Ohtani's interpreter is in debt to an illegal bookie, right? An illegal bookmaker now
Yeah.
for $4.5 million. He was in
That's
debt.
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Listen to me, Chucker. Four and a
Okay, I'm
half
listening.
million dollars in debt. Now,
Yeah.
that's the kind of credit that you give to people with a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
You don't give $4.5 million line of credit to an interpreter who might make $1 million a year.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
to say he makes $1 million a year, he's probably he would be like the highest paid interpreter probably in the
Yes.
world. Right? So you'd be overestimating more than likely saying he makes $1 million a year. You would never in 100 years, no matter who you are, give that kind of credit to an interpreter.
Correct. Now,
So for that reason alone, I don't think it was the interpreter.
no. And I don't understand why he needs an interpreter anyway, because most Japanese speak English. Like, it's taught in their schools.
That's interesting too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, they speak really good English.
Yeah, it is generally a course in Japanese schools.
Yeah. Like, not like our Spanish, where it's like, okay, go learn Spanish. No, it's like, if you're going to play on the world stage, if we're going to be a big, a country that means something, we're going to learn their language so we can participate.
Right.
Is how they think. It's an honor type thing.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think it's really strange, man. I don't think the interpreter was placing bets that high.
No.
I don't know that Shohei was. That would be a little bit weird for him.
And he's one of the best baseball players we've seen.
Yeah, he just got signed to the largest contract in MLB history.
Yeah, he's in the league of Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
talent-wise. I'm not saying he's going to make those numbers, but talent-wise, being that he is a pitcher and a slugger, those only come around every once in a while.
It's so unheard of now in Major League Baseball, right? That he'll go up there and DH after he's pitched. You know what I mean? Like, what? What do you like the night after he's pitched? He's up there DHing, and it's just like, what are you doing? And he knocks one out of the park or something crazy. Like, it's insane. The guy he's off the charts. He's absolutely a generational talent.
Yeah.
But to think like, I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, there is a very gray line between genius and crazy, right? Like,
right.
So these guys who are like hyper athletic and who have been so hyper focused on athletics and that rush of thousands of people cheering your name and things like that, what might get his rocks off? High stakes gambling. Like, to think that someone who is such a huge star would not also get his rocks off on high stakes gambling is crazy.
Right. Now, have they connected it to baseball gambling or just gambling in general?
I don't know what he was gambling on.
Okay.
But I know that Shohei paid the money, right? Like, that's that's the big thing is Shohei Ohtani paid the bookie off.
Okay.
And so that's really the big problem is a baseball player was paying an illegal bookie off. Okay. And so, and they blame it on the interpreter, and he was placing these bets, and he didn't have the money to pay it back, and so Shohei paid it for him. You know, he's being a good guy.
Maybe the interpreter misunderstood the bets.
The one guy who's in charge of like being able to understand, being able to translate everything, and he's like, "I didn't understand."
If he was not betting against baseball, I see no harm in what if he was the one doing it,
Hmm.
and he wasn't betting against baseball. There should, I mean, I don't think it should affect his baseball career. If he was betting against baseball, then we've set the precedent with Pete Rose, and he's done.
Right. Right. That's what's scary, right? I mean, we're talking about a Pete Rose caliber talent, a generational talent.
Yeah,
That, like you said, based off the precedent, if he was placing bets on baseball, should be suspended for life.
yeah, which is sad because he's got so much talent. Now, I do wonder, the okay, so if he was betting on a game he was in,
Hmm.
is obviously it hasn't affected the way he plays, has it? Like, has he
No,
had a bad game?
I mean, yeah, of course, pitchers have bad games. I'm
Yeah,
sure he's had plenty of them, right? Like, there's no pitcher out there who's perfect.
right.
It's not going to happen.
Nolan Ryan,
Um,
but anyway,
I mean, you're not going to have perfect outings every single time, right?
yeah,
But what I'm saying, I mean, the guy was no, he's been MVP caliber pretty much every year.
yeah.
So
Uh,
every year he's played healthy for the full year, he's MVP caliber.
the only good thing about it being a Braves fan is that he plays for the Dodgers, and
Yep.
you know the Dodgers can go fall off the face of the earth.
And the Dodgers just had a pretty big scandal with this guy Trevor Bauer, and the way Major League Baseball handled that is the same way they're probably going to handle the Shohei Ohtani thing. They're going to drag the investigation out. It's going to be really long. No one's really going to care about it by the time a decision gets made. Um, and poor old Trevor Bauer, in his case, he's just kind of old hat at this point, and he's
Yeah,
trying to work his way back into the league because he served a suspension and all. Well, they really found him not guilty of everything. He got really screwed. But the Shohei thing, like if he keeps playing, if they don't suspend Shohei during the investigation and he's able to keep playing, and by the time they wrap up their investigation and make a decision, and no one cares because it's been so long and we're past the All-Star break, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
baseball has done moved on. You got to think about it in baseball terms,
yeah.
like
Baseball moves quick.
you push it off 6 months, man, that's old hat. There's been guys moved around and different teams are in the mix now. The Dodgers
Yeah,
aren't even talking about the World Series. Some guy got hurt. And so,
yeah,
like, who cares if Shohei comes back? You know what I mean? Like, there's no telling in baseball world what the decision will actually bring. I just, even if they do it the way they did with the Trevor Bauer situation, all I'm saying is that if they drag it out, Shohei Ohtani stands a better chance at continuing to play.
right. Well,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna call him guilty till he's guilty. I'm not,
No,
but things don't look good.
it doesn't look good from my perspective. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything about gambling, period. I've never been a gambler.
No, and I've tried to figure it out. Like I do the NASCAR fantasy
Hmm.
stuff, which is no money involved, but they give
Right.
you all the odds and all that stuff, to
Hmm.
help you pick your team for that week. I can't figure out any of it. Like plus this, minus that, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. I'm sitting here like, so does that mean this guy's got a better chance or this guy's got a better chance? I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
don't know. So yeah, it's gambling's tough.
It's tough to understand, man. I'm not on the up and up when it comes to that. I get a little bit of the over under, but I mean, I know that I know who's the underdog and who's the betting favorite. I can understand that when I'm looking at them, but that's about it.
Yeah. You want to go fly the fly the friendly skies with Boeing?
Oh man, Boeing finds themselves in the headlines again, dude. Um,
Okay.
this time, this Boeing whistleblower, he came out a number of years ago now,
Yes.
and what he exposed them for was placing speed of production over safety. Am I correct?
Correct. So they were quality control issues. There was parts unaccounted for that had failed inspection,
Mm-hmm.
so they think they got put on and used anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have doors falling off and landing gear falling off
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So he was supposed to testify about it, and then he Clinton himself.
Yeah. Uh, and this guy has gone on record several times saying, if I commit suicide, it wasn't me.
Right. But ain't that what they all say?
No, no.
So,
Chris
no,
Cornell didn't say that.
no, he should have, because I don't think he did it.
Bourdain didn't say that.
Bourdain didn't say that. Bourdain, that's a weird case. So there's a connection between Bourdain, Cornell, the dude from Lincoln Park,
Chester Bennington.
Chester, yeah, and Kate Spade. Ain't it Kate Spade?
Kate Spade. I don't know. Haven't heard that one.
Okay, the makes purses and stuff.
Uh-huh. I mean, okay. I'm with. I'm not
she killed
following.
her.
I don't know how she's in the mix.
She killed herself too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And supposedly,
were they all doing like humanity things in
humanitarian
Haiti?
things? Yes, they were all working on exposing some child trafficking.
No, are you serious?
Yeah.
All of those people were working on exposing child trafficking.
Yes.
Man, we're getting really conspiratorial on this show.
This is one of them shows where it just happens. It's because we didn't have anything else to talk about.
That's true. There wasn't a whole lot going on, but a lot of what was in the news was kind of conspiratorial as well. So, I mean, this Boeing whistleblower, though, what's your first instinct?
My first instinct is they shut him up.
They did it. They suicided him.
Boeing's got enough money, enough power, not just in the commercial sector, but in the government contract sector, that they can pretty much do what they want. They've got the aliens.
Well, that's true. If you believe some of those guys who do like the the remote viewing, there's like alien underground bases all over the earth.
John, they've got the aliens. I mean, it's known at this point. We all know it. We all know
I love a good visit from Alex.
They're just not. We can't talk about it. Moon bases, gay frogs. Yeah. Nazis.
Did you happen to watch that YouTube video that I sent you?
I did.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
It describes Star Wars and the Republicans and the Democrats
all at the same time. It's
all
hilarious.
At the same time. Gotta love Alex Jones, man. Gotta love him. So since we've been so conspiratorial, man, you ready to just move on into this conspiracy corner?
Might as well just do a conspiracy corner.
All right. So it was my week to bring it this week. And I told you we have mentioned this one on the show before, but we haven't really dove into it very much.
We haven't laughed at it, is what you're saying.
Right. Okay. It was a brief mention. So I wanted to bring it up. And it is the Gifted program. Which you were a member of. Yes, which I was a member of, which my daughter's a member of. So the conspiracy is that the CIA started the Gifted and Talented Education Program. It's also called the GATE program. Or if you ask somebody, it would be the Operation GATE because it was a CIA operation. And the purpose of it was to kind of get a bead on who was good candidates for the CIA.
And obviously it's not working for us because our numbers aren't there.
The numbers are not there. Look, they figured out pretty quickly with me. But here's the thing. Okay. I don't have like an off the charts IQ. Okay. So some of it makes me Yeah, yeah, yeah. But so some of it makes me, but here's my point with that. I say that just to say, is some of it based off behavior?
Oh,
Is some of it based, would I comply?
ooh,
Was I
would
a
you?
good soldier?
Are you?
Well, I am really good at following directions.
Uh-huh.
Like if you tell me what to do, I'll go do it.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this, but I don't like to comply.
Yeah. So part of it makes me wonder if like, I'm not saying like if my friend jumps off a bridge, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Obviously,
right, right.
I do have a form of thinking for myself, but like at the same time, I am really good at following instructions, and like
Yes, I've
I can
noticed it.
fall in line pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I'm being honest, like,
You don't like making ripples.
yeah, I mean, one thing my dad taught me, like that was,
Yeah,
he was like, get in line. You know what I mean? He taught me how to
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
He was very militarized in his
Mm-hmm.
upbringing in a way, and
And you are
so
also the son of a former or a retired. He was in the military,
he
is
was
what
in
I'm
the Air
trying to say.
Force. Yeah, my dad was in
Yeah.
the Air Force, and I spent so much time training in martial arts, and my
Mm-hmm.
martial arts instructor was a Green Beret.
Yeah.
And so like it was constantly fall in line, fall in line,
Right.
fall in line. Like that was my whole upbringing. So I wonder, I also wonder, I say all that to say that maybe part of the GATE program was
Mm-hmm.
behavioral things
Could be. Could be.
more than just IQ or problem solving or anything like that. It was just, were you able to listen and follow directions?
Right. Now, what did they call it at your school?
The gifted program.
Okay, they called it Program Challenge at my school.
Okay. Okay.
I
Dude.
might have taken the test. I don't know.
So let me tell you what it was like. Let me tell you what it was like. Okay. It'd be like Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
It'd be like Tuesday right before lunch. Okay.
Right.
And they come and
home.
get you.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you and you and you. And like you get to stand up and go.
Yeah.
And like all these other schmucks are left to color paint or do whatever they do.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and you think you're going to do something crazy and special. And you know what's strange, Chucker? I don't remember a single lesson.
Oh, they did the whole freaking Men in Black. Look into the light.
I'm not saying they did that. I'm just saying I don't remember one single lesson from the gifted program.
Because you're not supposed to. You will remember them when you hear the word. I don't know what your word. I don't know what your word is. It could be Shazbot.
What if, man? What if I turn into like American Ultra?
Dude, I love that movie.
It's such a good movie.
It is, but it's freaking scary to think that we know that they've been working on mind control.
Yeah.
That was the whole deal with the LSD and old
Absolutely.
Charlie Manson out there.
Yeah. I mean,
And
most of MK Ultra was mind control experiments.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. I've wondered so long, like, and I'm not sticking up for Charles Manson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I say this, but what did he physically do to be in jail all this time?
Convinced people to murder people.
So he understood the mind trick.
Yeah.
He understood the system, so they had to keep him put up.
I guess.
I mean, that's the only thing. Because, like, if he could do that with that group, he could have took over the world if the mind control stuff was right and he understood how to use it and he was that good a manipulator. Of course, they're going to put him in jail.
Yeah. Well, they so you know a lot of how he operated was he would give his people LSD, and he himself a lot of times would not take it, and so he's able to operate, with a clear mind and able to manipulate these people who are under the influence. Now, I don't know what exactly he did during those times or whatever, but I know that he was not always taking the LSD with them.
Right.
So I think the drugs play a big part of it for him. played a
Right.
big part in the mind control.
Right. I mean, like I said, I'm not taking up for him, and I'm not saying he didn't do anything.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm asking, what did he do?
Well, it's a reasonable question, right? I mean, we've always talked about like they could have killed him to shut him up, but instead they just let him stay alive and rant and prove
Yeah.
that he's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the way that things happen, it's all so strange.
And
And
how do we know? How do we know they wasn't drugging his food the whole time to
right,
kind of flip the script on him?
right, like they did to Jack Ruby after he killed
Yeah.
Lee Harvey
Dude,
Oswald.
they're so. I mean, you could go down a rabbit hole and just keep going and use examples of things that we've done that ain't right.
Hmm.
And I say we as a country
Hmm.
because it's our money that's paying for it, our tax money, supposedly.
Sure.
And
Well, am I wrong that the CIA shouldn't be operating on American soil, period, anyway?
no, they're not supposed to operate. They're not authorized.
So the fact that any of these operations have taken place, like like Operation Midnight Climax, where they would do like the where they were dosing the John Does with LSD in the strip clubs. You remember that?
Yeah.
And they would just watch the guy once they dosed him and see what he did. You
Yeah.
know, unknowingly dose him with LSD and see what he
Yeah.
did.
Could you imagine?
No.
Like I've never taken LSD. I've never dropped acid. Okay.
Okay.
Just so we're perfectly clear.
Yeah, yeah.
But could you imagine getting dosed and not knowing what's going on, like not know why the floor's moving and why like you're in this whole freaking scene out of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Right. Like,
With,
why is everyone's face melting? Why is this
yeah,
happening? You don't
why had they
understand any of it.
yeah, how terrifying that would be. The you're at the strip club and the girl turns into a freaking lizard.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right. And so I say that none of that was supposed to happen. They're not supposed to be operating on our soil.
Right.
Like that operation should have never taken place.
No, they should have done that in Mexico. I mean, look. In that time frame, if they wanted to stay close to home and do it to Americans, all they had to do was go to Tijuana. There's Americans used to go down there to party all the time. So, I mean,
You would have gave them what they wanted.
yeah, I mean, they could have played within their rules and
Oh,
still had American test subjects.
should have taken that to Mexico.
That's the title. Should have taken that to Mexico.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dude, you got a meme for me this week, man?
I think I do. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got a meme. And then the other thing we'll do it later.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find that meme that I had. Oh, yeah. So this kind of brings up another subject that we haven't hit on, but I wanted to hit on. So that's why I saved the meme.
All right.
Here it comes.
All right, I got it. Okay. April 8th, 2024. Eclipse totality runtime, 4 minutes, 27 seconds. Total eclipse of the heart, radio cut runtime, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You know what you need to do. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of neat that it worked out like that. What do you think about this eclipse?
I think it's supposed to happen.
Okay. I mean, we have eclipses, right?
Yeah, that's all a pattern.
Yeah,
It's a very well-known pattern. It's nothing out of the
you don't think
ordinary.
it's government op?
No. As a matter of fact, I think most people who study the stars knew that this was going to happen for the last probably 100 years.
Okay, well the astrologists of TikTok
Uh-huh.
are saying that the moon and the sun cannot cross paths on that day because they are on opposite sides of the world or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay. So they're saying that, yeah, the moon would be on the opposite side of the earth and it therefore it could not cover up the sun.
yeah.
That's what they're saying. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure how eclipse always works. I don't
Yeah.
know the mechanics of it, but I do know the moon is moving, and the earth is moving, and the sun is sitting still. So I think we could probably line that stuff up in a path.
That's not true.
What? Well, it's all moving.
It's all moving.
It's all
Yeah, I
moving.
think the
But
Milky Way galaxy it's moving at like 2.2 million miles an hour through the universe.
so they say.
So they say.
But what are they clocking it off of?
I don't know.
For speed to be relevant, you have to have a point of reference. What is the point
Yes.
of reference?
Well, and that's why they consider space 2D, two-dimensional.
Oh,
Think of it as flat. Space is flat.
Mhm.
So they say.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show, and that's going to do it for last night's coffee with Chuck and John. Be sure to check out the Eating Chambers on YouTube.
That's it.
Like and
Shout out Chef
subscribe,
Drew.
and yeah, if you made it this far into this week's show, we appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Next week, John will be on vacation, but we will have a show for you,
Yes.
and we hope you'll like it. We'll holler at you next time.
Later on, night shifters.